When I find a skip, I like to have a quick look in, because sometimes there's things of interest. And looks like there's some switch mode power supplies in this. One that's already been broken open. It looks like some sort of IC car charger. So I'm going to whip them out and have a play about, because they've been in my eBay basket for a while, but I've never had the money to splash out on these. So I'm going to grab these and a couple other bits. Right, so let's get the famous 2-foot carpet tile out and have a look at some of the gubbins that I actually got out the skip. So, I picked up 2 of these, RAC, I think, I can't actually remember what IC stands for, so never mind, it's some sort of car charger, charging, reverse polarity, fast charge, slow charge, 6 to 12 volts, 20 amp fuse. They've cut the leads off, so it must have been pattern tested and failed, I guess. And it's got 2 single insulated leads and 1 flex with 3-core. Now, I'm guessing that amongst the leads that I pulled out of the skip, they actually cut the plugs off. Plug and flex. So they cut that off for some reason. And the crocodile clips that correspond have also been cut off. But I suppose crocodile clips in their own right are going to come in handy anyway. I'm not going to use this for anything major, I just want to see if they're actually any good. So this one was apart in the skip already, it had its side smashed off, so no idea if anyone's had a go at that. Looks like mains comes in, just tied a knot for a cord grip, not spectacularly great. Live, neutral and earth, and then I guess they used a brown as a live there. So you can see the small flex is the supply, and these go off to the next converter or power supply, and then we got 2 going off. So I wonder if it's center taps. There's no other, oh, there's a little, oh, it's got controls on it. It's got 2 extra wires. Maybe I'm not going to be able to use it. Oh, that's going to suck. Anyway, I could power it up. I might have 2 rails. I might have a 6 and 12 volt rail. But I'm going to have to tear this down a little bit further to find out. Right, so you all know I'm not very good with circuit boards. It's only a diddy one. I can't figure out what this is for, but I do know that the reds and the blacks from each power supply seem to go to the same spots on the board, so they're all soldered in on the same spot. So these are just parallel, obviously, to increase the output of the terminal. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a plug on it and disconnect all of these leads and see what voltages we get from both of these, because it does show there's a 6 volt and 12 volt selection, which might be something to do with that, but hey, what do I know? Right, so the only things I've discerned so far is one's labelled B, one's labelled A, one has clips across the chips there to hold it onto the heatsink, and this one, the clips don't reach. So you can pop that on there. It barely touches the chip. It goes underneath. And also the one with the extra lead is soldered straight onto the PCB beside the chip there. In there somewhere. So got potentiometers here, so whether they're variable, I don't know, and they're set up and left. I guess the only thing left to do is plug it in. Moment of truth time now. I'm going to turn it on. The house power hasn't tripped off, which is a good sign. I'm going to see what voltage these have. Now there's a little bit of hum coming from these, so I don't know what that is to do with. We're going to stick this on there. And we've got 7 volts from that one. And we've got 7 volts from that one. So does that mean that to get the 12 volts, they're putting them in series? I mean, can you do that with these modules? I don't know. Maybe it is series, but it's 20 amps. So maybe are they 20 amps a piece? I'm just going to turn this pot a little bit one way and put the meter back on. 7.5. I might actually do this with the screwdriver on here. Actually, I'm going to turn it the other way because it's going down. So have I just found myself a mains TP4056 supply? No, I won't go below 6.8 volts. Never mind. Maybe I haven't. But have I found myself a 12 volt supply? Now I'm shielding my eyes because I've been almost blown up by a capacitor before. And I want to see if this will go up to 12 volts. Has it reached 12 volts yet? No, they're pretty much set in their ways. I'm turning that miles and it's not going anywhere. So at best we've got 7.5 volts. I've had a good go. I've wound it all the way up, and I made sure I had this cover over it just in case one of those capacitors decided to pop. But I can't get it to go any higher than 8.56 volts. Maybe this one's a 40 one. Well, actually, maybe they're both 40, but we haven't put these under a load test as such. We might have to wait for another day to do that. But what I'm thinking of doing now is I'm going to tear the other one apart and test just quickly to see if they're any better or worse. Right, so here we go. I've got my leads plugged in and my potentiometer. Both were showing 7.42. Again, I'm going to wind this up as far as it'll go. See it moving very, very slowly. It's actually quite nice that it's quite precise. Yeah, and that one stops at 8.54, very close to what the other one was. This one is still at 7.42. Amazing. Okay, so the question is, what can I do with these power supplies? Let's just make sure it's not AC coming out of there. No, it's not plugging anything up on there as AC. So it's definitely a DC wave. Sometimes if you measure AC on a DC setting, you get an odd reading. Yeah, so what can I do with 4, I guess, say 10 amp power supplies? Nothing comes to mind at the moment. They're going to go in the shed and go in storage for a later project. My immediate thought was using them to power to run what do you call it? TP4056s, but they don't go low enough. So we've got a 6.5, was it? 6.5 volt power supply, or an 8.5 volt power supply. Now it does appear to be in series, so putting 2 power supplies in series to give you your high voltage. There's no other way I could see that it does it. I mean, it says 6 volt or 12 volt, so it must either switch one into the other, I guess. Can't really think how else they'd do that, but yeah, interesting to me. 2 4 power supplies, magic. In the shed they go. I also looted an APC ES700 UPS. It's probably the battery that's gone in it, so let's plug it in and see if it makes any noises. Nice long lead. Click. Alright, okay. Got an X in the battery. It's probably the battery gone. Let's have a look inside. Click. It's gone off. So it's got 3 sockets on this. It's got some weight to it. Now I know inverter-wise, using an UPS is a very smart, clever idea. And yes, it is possible, and I've done it in the past with a tiny one. And I've since got some 24-volt ones, but the problem is they use so much power when they're on standby, which makes them... Oh, hang on, why am I doing that? Oh, it's got no battery in it. Okay. So, have I got a 12-volt battery, is the question. The answer is yes, but is it any good? Because I normally take these out and scrap them, replace them with new. This is 12 volts on the dot if you're looking there. It's a bit bigger than the one that came out. It's probably a 7 amp hour. This is a 12. But for the purpose of this test, I'm sure we'll be just fine. The battery is in. It's fatter than the other one. Let's turn the power on. The camera's moved. Oh, it's come on straight away. It's saying master enable and the power is on. The slight background hum to indicate that there is actually something going on in there, which is clever. Now I have to find something to plug into it, I guess. Got my trusty table lamp from upstairs. It's a 28-watt halogen lamp in there. Let's plug it in on there. That'll do. And if the power goes off, it does a flashy dance. And the touch doesn't work. Clever. Okay. Maybe the battery's just flat, I don't know. Let's try again. There we go, that's better. Maybe it's just the master socket, I guess. It's clever, I'll give it that. Turn the power back on. Full brightness. And off. Oh, I guess it's me. It was only on half brightness before. Let's just do that once again to prove that it was me. And we'll put it back in there. Medium brightness. And it does dance. Yeah, it was me. The whole time. Okay. So, we've got ourselves an inverter of sorts. Interesting. It could be useful. I haven't looked up the specs on this. 800 watt. 700 normally VA, so you probably got, I don't know, 480 watts. I don't really work in VA, so 700 VA, 405 watts. So it's good for a laptop, I guess. Maybe your internet router, TV, if you're running a lead acid system. But yeah, very clever. All free, all from a skip. So once again, I have to find somewhere to store this until it becomes useful. Thank you for watching. That was today's skip haul. And I will see you in my next video. Cheers.